Hello, beautiful souls. I am Valeria Maritza at Healing Through You. I am an infinite being of light, and so are you. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to bring you this episode because it has a lot of ancestors, yeah, a lot of ancestor energy coming through. And these are not just my ancestors, but your ancestors that are coming through to guide us, through to help us. And they're asking you to call upon them, to connect with the parts of you that were part of them. So the way that is coming through, and I'll just start channeling here. The way that is coming through is that you have been created, incarnated here in this lifetime by choice. You're here to be a part of this awakening, of this great awakening, and changing the frequency of the earth by bringing it to really bringing heaven on earth. And all of your ancestors, where you came from, have gone through their own challenges in life, and they have gone through all of their life experiences, removing with each lifetime one aspect of what they needed to move through, like a wound or a lesson, and then it passes on to the offspring in a way that now this offspring has already done that because the ancestors has done it. I'm not sure if this is making sense to you. um and so that person, they don't have to repeat the same cycle. However, we have seen so many people who have repeated the same cycle. Like, let's say, for example, you had someone who was in an abusive relationship, and then their children are in a abusive relationship, and then their children, and so on. Or they go through the cycle of, let's say, poverty or scarcity, and then it continues to go down that cycle. But now, where you are here to break through every single one of those cycles because your ancestors have worked through every single part and lesson that you, who are here, wanted to experience, and moving through it, living it, experiencing it, learning from it, so that you, who are here right now, can release that. And how does that work? So, as we have seen through history, the cycles of people repeating the cycles, repeating this wound, having that wound. And what I mean by that is, for example, let's say um, someone has alcoholism in their family, and then the next generation does not, because one of the children set out like, okay, my father or my mother was an alcoholic, and I do not want to experience that anymore in my life. And so they intentionally create an environment where that part is no longer felt or is not longer lived through. Um, and they do that, right? Just by setting that intention, like, that's not what I want. I lived that through my parents, and now I am releasing that. And my life here, I want to create an environment where that is not the case. And they live that, but then something else comes through, right? Let's say now that person does not have alcoholism in their family, but they are experiencing scarcity, or like they're not having enough means to survive or to provide for the family. So then one of their children will move on to the part of like, okay, this was great, but I really want to live through my life without having the scarcity. So this is where you see people like being self-made and going in a different direction that is not the same direction that their parents did, or that the generation before did. For example, working so many hours in order to create the wealth that is needed when that actually didn't show up in their parents' reality as being abundant. So now I'm going to do something different. Perhaps now you're the first one in your family line that's going to college. Maybe you're the first one who has a degree. Maybe you're the first one who's actually creating more wealth than the rest of them. Maybe it's you and your siblings. Maybe it's not just you, but like the whole generation, and you move forward. And then you clear all of that karma or all of that ancestor story. And yet there's something else that you may be going through. So maybe now you're going through, I have the health and the wealth, and I have um, the abundance needed that I set myself out to do, but now I'm having issues or struggles with a personal relationship, maybe with like romantic relationship. I'm not getting that connection. And so now your children will do that. So that's how we start to clear the karma. That's how we start taking the lessons that our ancestors lived through and move through so that the next generation doesn't have to do that. But now you who are here are able to gather all of your ancestors' stories, all of their lessons, all the things that they have moved through, and just completely not live them again. Go into a place of abundance, of love, of joy, of whatever it is that you're really feeling into that. That's the type of life that you want. And you can do it so much quicker. So what's happening right now is that with the energies that you're living through right now, you are able to take your intention and see the results or the fruits of your intention in the now, in right now. So you can transmute not just what you're seeing, like let's say I gave you examples of like, oh, they have this, but now this is the challenge for this lifetime. And now the next one does not have those two things, but now they have this other challenge, right? So it's like showing you like one major challenge that you're moving through in your ancestors' lives, but you here can transmute and move forward with a lot of changes. So let's say you're here and you're like, okay, now I have the health, I have the relationship, I have the wealth, I have all of these things. And then you come up with another challenge. Well, now you can move through that other challenge now before crossing over, before moving forward or going into spirit, before passing it on to your offspring. Now you can transmute that. And after doing that, you can transmute the next thing that comes up. So you're clearing literally anything and everything that comes up for you and your entire ancestral line in the now. This is the energy that is available to us right now and that you can move through and continue to transmute and create, turn it into light in the now. And how you do this is by asking and connecting with your ancestors' energy, right? So it's the part of being aware of what they went through, of what they did for you, for your presence, and asking them for their help so that you can move through and move forward in whatever it is that you are moving through right now with their help. So this is a different take on asking your higher self, the divine, God, who it's you. It's different than asking the angels, your spirit guides, your guardian angel. This is different. It's asking your ancestors because your ancestors have been here on this earth as you have, as you are. And so they have lived the human experience and they have lived it in a time where the energy was much slower and things were evolving at a much slower pace for you. And now you're here. And right now, here, you are able to transmute and move through this energy so much faster, so much you can move through things like within days or weeks instead of an entire lifetime. Does that make sense? So we are being called now to call upon our ancestry, our ancestors, our family members, everyone who is here for you to help you move forward. And what you want to do is you want to raise your frequency, your vibration, by calling in all parts of you, by calling in, and here's the part that you go back to calling yourself, your higher self, God, creator, light, divine light, angels. You can call any of those that you work with and raise your frequency and then intentionally ask and invite into your space your ancestors who are matching the high frequency of love and light. And this is important because you don't want to invite just anyone, any past energy that is still vibrating at a lower frequency, someone who's still struggling. You don't want to invite that into the space. You want to invite all of the ancestors only at that high frequency of love and light so that you can really move forward. And the other part is, of course, so that you can be safe and feel safe and know within you that this energy that you're calling forward is of the highest frequency of love and light. It is, you're not calling in energies of lower frequencies that are going to do harm to you or anyone else. So this is so important because you may know your history for, maybe your grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, perhaps, right? But you may not know more than that. And who knows who is in your line of your family tree, your ancestors, right? And we have been everything in our incarnations. We have been the good and we have been the not so good. So that means that we have ancestors who have done things that in today's world would not be accepted as good, right? So somebody who is purposely hurting others or animals or the self in a past life, because that's their journey, because that's what they're learning and that's what they're moving through, is something that back then might have been much better accepted or tolerated or seen as the good thing to do. But in today's world where we're living right now, we can see with more aware eyes and more voice from our throat chakra that this is really not something that we are willing to accept, tolerate, or relive. So when you're calling in your ancestors to help you, you are calling in everyone who is willing to help you, even those who may not have done the good things or the things that are no longer aligned with you, but you're only calling on to that their higher self, their higher frequency, their higher energy of love and light. You're not calling all of their essence. You're calling only the higher frequencies that are here to better serve you and everyone around you. All right, that's the message. It came through really quickly, really fast. Let me know how it feels. Let me know if you understand it. If you have any questions, like email me, sending me a message back and let me know. And with that, I'll let you go. Bye-bye. I'll see you next time.